I thought I knew what betrayal looked like. 23 years married, watching my wife pack her bags while I begged her to stay. But that was nothing compared to sitting in a fake doctor's office in Cebu, staring at ultrasound photos of a baby that never existed, believing every word from a woman who called me daddy, while her brother wore a borrowed lab coat. You think you're smart at 55. You think life's taught you enough lessons, but desperation makes you stupid and loneliness makes you blind. I gave her everything I had left after my divorce, my savings, my dignity, my last shot at being a father. The worst part isn't that she lied. It's that for 3 months I felt alive again. If our stories resonate with you, don't forget to like, comment, and tell us where you're watching from. This story was shared with us by one of our long-time viewers, and he wanted his experience heard. I'm standing in Glasgow airport at 6 in the morning, holding a one-way ticket to Cebu and wondering if this is what rock bottom looks like. Margaret's lawyer had called yesterday with the final divorce papers. 23 years of marriage gone. The house sold, half of everything I'd worked for handed over. At 55, I'm starting again with nothing but my pension and a desperate need to disappear. The Philippines seemed like the perfect place to hide from my failure. I'd watched those YouTube videos about Western men finding happiness in Southeast Asia. Maybe it was my turn. You running away, Dad? My daughter Sarah had asked when I told her about the trip. I couldn't answer her honestly. Yes, I was running. Running from the empty house where Margaret's voice still echoed in every room. Running from the plumbing business I'd built from nothing, only to watch it crumble during the divorce proceedings. Running from myself. The boarding announcement for Cebu Pacific echoes through the terminal, and I grab my single suitcase. Everything I own now fits in one bag. That should tell me something about how far I've fallen, but I'm too tired to care. Too broken to think straight. I hand the gate agent my passport, and she smiles like she knows exactly what kind of man I am. Another old Western fool chasing something he'll never find. The plane lifts off into the grey Scottish morning, and I close my eyes. When I open them again, I'll be somewhere new. Someone new. At least that's what I tell myself. Cebu hits me like a wall of humidity and chaos. The taxi driver overcharges me. The hotel room smells like mold, and I'm already questioning every decision that led me here. I'm too old for this adventure, too broken for a fresh start. But I'm here now, and going back to Scotland means facing the wreckage I left behind. I find a bar near my hotel, order a San Miguel, and try to convince myself this was the right choice. The beer tastes like regret, but at least it's cold. First time in Philippines, sir? The bartender asks. His English is perfect, his smile practiced. I nod, not trusting my voice. You like it here? Very beautiful country. Very beautiful girls. He winks, and I feel something die inside me. Is this what I've become? Another pathetic old man looking for what he can't find at home? The bar fills with noise and smoke and the kind of women who make their living off men like me. I finish my beer and walk back to the hotel, my footsteps echoing in the empty streets. The air conditioning in my room breaks that first night, and I lie awake sweating, listening to the city breathe around me. What have I done? What am I doing? But there's no answer, just the distant sound of traffic and my own regret keeping me company. She's working behind the bar at Lucky's, this small place tucked away from the tourist strips. Rosemary, 35 years old with kind eyes and a smile that actually seems genuine. Not like the other bar girls who see dollar signs when they look at me. We talk for hours about everything and nothing. She tells me about her family, her dreams of opening a small business. I tell her about Scotland, about the rain and the loneliness. For the first time in months, I feel like someone is actually listening to me. You seem sad, she says, refilling my glass. Like you carry heavy things. Her English isn't perfect, but her meaning is clear. My husband left me too, she continues, quietly. 2 years ago. He found a younger girl. I understand the hurt. Something breaks open inside me when she says that. Not the sharp crack of fresh pain, but the slow release of pressure I've been carrying since Margaret walked out. It gets better, I ask. Maybe, she says. But first it gets different. When she gets off work, She walks with me back to my hotel. Nothing happens, but everything changes. "You seem like good man, Alistair," she says, before disappearing into the warm night. "Don't let one person make you forget that." I watch her go. This woman who doesn't know me, but somehow sees me clearer than my wife of 23 years ever did. For the first time since arriving in Cebu, I sleep without dreaming of Margaret's suitcases. 3 weeks pass like a dream I don't want to wake up from. Rosemary and I spend every evening together. She shows me the real Cebu, not the tourist version. We eat at street stalls, visit her friends, laugh until my sides hurt. She doesn't ask me for money, doesn't play games. At 55, I'm falling in love like a teenager. Margaret never looked at me the way Rosemary does, like I matter, like I'm worth something. "You make me laugh," Rosemary tells me one evening, as we walk along the beach. I forgot how that feels. I want to tell her she makes me feel alive again, but the words stick in my throat. I'm terrified of ruining this, whatever this is. "In Scotland, I was nobody," I say instead. "Just another failed husband, another broken man. Here you are somebody," she says, taking my hand. "You are Alistair who makes me smile." When she lets me hold her hand while we walk along the beach, I start thinking maybe this broken old Scotsman deserves a second chance at happiness. "My friends say I'm crazy," she admits, "dating older foreign man, but you're not like others. You listen. You see me." I squeeze her hand tighter. For the first time in years, I'm not thinking about what I've lost. I'm thinking about what I might gain. "Alistair, I have something to tell you." We're sitting in our usual spot, this little restaurant overlooking the harbour. Rosemary looks nervous, fidgeting with her hands. My heart stops. Is she ending this? Have I read everything wrong? "I'm pregnant," she whispers, and the world tilts. Sideways. Pregnant. With my child. At 55, I'm going to be a father. Margaret and I tried for years, went through hell with fertility treatments. Nothing. And now, with this beautiful Filipino woman, it's happening naturally. I'm crying, she's crying, and I'm already planning our future. A family, a real family. I've never felt so alive. "Are you sure?" I ask, though I can see the answer in her eyes. "I took 3 tests," she says, "all positive." She reaches into her purse and shows me the pregnancy test strips. 2 pink lines on each one, clear as day. "I'm scared," she admits. "I don't know what you think. We haven't talked about future." "I think I love you," I say, the words tumbling out before I can stop them. "I think this is exactly what was supposed to happen." She smiles through her tears, and I know I'm home. Finally, after 55 years of searching, I'm home. "We'll get married," I tell her. "Do this right. Give our child my name." She nods, squeezing my hands. "You really want this? With me?" I've never wanted anything more in my life. Within a week, I'm moving out of the hotel and into Rosemary's small apartment. It's not much, but it's ours. I start sending money back to Scotland to get my affairs in order. I want to do this right. Marry her, give our child my name, build something real. She's starting to show morning sickness, and I'm playing the protective father-to-be, bringing her ginger tea and rubbing her back. My ex-wife never needed me like this. Rosemary makes me feel useful again, important. I'm finally where I belong. "The baby is making me so tired," she says, lying on the small couch while I massage her feet. "Is normal, I think." "Very normal," I assure her, though what do I know about pregnancy? Margaret and I never got this far. "You take care of me, so." "Good," she murmurs. "I'm lucky woman." I look around the tiny apartment with its cracked walls and broken air conditioning, and I see a palace. This is where my child will be born, where my new life will begin. "We'll need a bigger place soon," I tell her, "something with a proper nursery." "You think too much about future," she laughs. "Enjoy now." But I can't help myself. I'm finally thinking about tomorrow again, and it's beautiful. "We should see a doctor," I tell Rosemary. "She's been sick every morning for 2 weeks now." "I know someone," she says. "My friend told me about this good doctor, very experienced." Dr. Santos has a small clinic in a quiet part of the city. He looks young, maybe early 30s, but Rosemary assures me he's well trained. His English is perfect, his manner professional. He examines Rosemary while I wait outside, nervous as any expectant father. The waiting room is small and sparse, but clean. A few outdated magazines, a water cooler that doesn't work, religious pictures on the walls. When he calls me in, he's smiling. "Congratulations, Mr. Alistair. Your baby is healthy." About 8 weeks along. He shows me the ultrasound images, pointing out the tiny shape that's supposedly my child. I'm looking at my future, and it's beautiful. "Everything looks perfect," Dr. Santos continues. "Heart rate is strong. Size is exactly right for gestational age." I stare at the grainy black and white images, trying to make sense of what I'm seeing. "That's really our baby?" I ask. "Very much so," he says. "Would you like copies to take home?" I nod eagerly. Our first baby pictures. I pay his fee without question, clutching the ultrasound images like they're made of gold. "Come back in 4 weeks, he tells us. "We'll check progress again." Walking out of that clinic, holding Rosemary's hand with our baby's pictures in my pocket, I feel complete for the first time in my life. "The doctor says I need special vitamins," Rosemary tells me, "and maybe we should find a bigger place for the baby." The requests start small but add up quickly. Better food, prenatal supplements, a nicer apartment in a safer neighborhood. I don't mind. This is my child she's carrying, my future. I start dipping into my savings more heavily. When she mentions her family's financial problems, I help with those too. Her mother needs medicine, her brother needs work. I'm building bridges, becoming part of a Filipino family. At 55, I'm finally going to matter to someone. "You don't have to help my family," she says, but her eyes tell a different story. "I want to," I assure her. "They're going to be my family too." The money flows out steadily. Rent deposit for a better apartment, doctor bills, family emergencies that always seem to happen right when I'm feeling most generous. "You're too good." "To us," Rosemary says, counting the bills I've just given her for her mother's supposed heart medication. "My family thinks you are angels sent from God." I feel like one. For the first time in my life, my money is making a real difference. Building something instead of just surviving. Margaret used to complain about every penny I spent. Rosemary thanks me like each payment is a gift. Something feels off during our third doctor visit. Dr. Santos seems different, less professional somehow. His clinic looks shabbier than I remembered. When I ask questions about delivery options and hospitals, he gives vague answers. "We discuss later," he says. "First trimester is most important time. After that, we make plans." But Rosemary squeezes my hand and smiles, and I push my doubts aside. Maybe I'm just nervous. First time. Father anxiety. When we leave, I notice Dr. Santos and Rosemary talking in rapid Cebuano. Their voices are low, urgent. When I ask what they discussed, she says it was just about traditional Filipino pregnancy customs. I believe her because I want to. Because I need to. "He says I should eat more fish," she tells me as we walk home. "Good for baby's brain." Makes sense, I agree, though something about their conversation felt secretive, worried. "Did he seem different to you today?" "How different?" she asks, not meeting my eyes. "I don't know. Less professional, maybe." "You worry too much," she says, but her voice has an edge I haven't heard before. "He's good doctor, my friend recommended him." But which friend? I realize I've never met any of her friends who actually recommended Dr. Santos. I've met her friends from the bar, her neighbors, her family, but nobody who's ever mentioned this supposedly wonderful doctor. I'm at Lucky's bar waiting for Rosemary to finish work when I overhear 2 other Filipinas talking. They mention her name, something about the Scottish guy and brother Miguel. My blood turns cold. Miguel. Dr. Santos's first name is Miguel. I confront Rosemary that night. "Who is Dr. Santos to you?" She gets defensive, angry, says I don't trust her, that I'm being paranoid like all Western men. But her eyes won't meet mine. I'm starting to piece together a picture I don't want to see. The young doctor who looks nothing like a medical professional. The clinic with no other patients. The ultrasound photos that could be anyone's. My heart is breaking even before I know the truth. "You think I lie to you," she shouts. "You think I make up, baby?" "I think you're not telling me everything," I say quietly. "Dr. Santos, is he family?" "Why you ask this? Why you no trust me?" But she's backing away from me and I can see the panic in her eyes. "Just tell me the truth," I beg. "Whatever it is, we can work through it." "Truth," she laughs, but it sounds like a sob. "Truth is, you are just like all foreign men. You think you can buy Filipino woman, control her, own her. But when things get complicated, you blame us." "That's not what this is about," I insist, but she's already grabbing her bag. "Rosemary, please, just talk to me." She stops at the door. "Dr. Santos is good doctor. You meet him yourself. You see baby on ultrasound. What more proof you need?" She's gone before I can answer, leaving me alone with my doubts and the growing certainty that I've been played. I hire a local investigator, a Filipino man who specializes in foreigner scams. "Very common," he tells me matter-of-factly. "Pregnancy fraud. They use fake doctors, fake ultrasounds, sometimes fake bellies." His name is Detective Reyes, and he's seen this story too many times. "How much money you give already?" "About £15,000, I admit, and he whistles low. "That's good money here. Enough to live for 2 years, maybe 3. Within 2 days, he has the truth. Dr. Miguel Santos is actually Miguel Reyes, Rosemary's younger brother. He works at a medical supply company and borrowed equipment for their scam. The ultrasound photos are stock images downloaded from the internet. Rosemary has never been pregnant. Everything I believed, everything I planned, was a lie carefully constructed to drain my savings. I've sent them nearly £15,000 over 3 months, money I'll never see again." "You want to press charges?" Detective Reyes asks. "We can try, but usually these cases go nowhere. She will say was real relationship, real pregnancy, real miscarriage. Very hard to prove fraud when emotion's involved." I stare at the evidence spread across his desk. Photos of Miguel at his real job. Bank records showing money transfers. Downloaded ultrasound images with metadata showing their internet origins. "How long you think they planning this?" "From first day you meet her," he says gently. "Sorry, sir, but this is professional operation. They probably watch you for weeks before making contact. I don't confront them immediately. I need to see it with my own eyes, to understand how completely they played me. I follow Rosemary to her doctor's appointment. Watch her meet her brother outside the fake clinic. See them laugh together. Probably about the stupid Scottish man who believed their story. They're counting money. My money. Miguel is holding a thick envelope, and Rosemary is smiling the way she used to smile at me. When I finally walk up to them, Miguel is still wearing the lab coat. "Congratulations, Mr. Alistair," he says with that same professional smile. "Everything looks perfect." I look at Rosemary, this woman I thought I loved, and see a stranger. "The baby isn't real," I say quietly. Her face doesn't change. She knows that I know. "Hello, Alistair," she says calmly. "You hired detective, yes? I see him yesterday asking questions." Miguel looks nervous, but Rosemary seems almost relieved. "How long were you planning to keep this up?" I ask. "Until the miscarriage," she says matter-of-factly. "Maybe 1 more month. Then very sad accident, lose baby. You comfort me, maybe give more money for hospital bills. Then you go back to Scotland, and we never see again." The casual way she describes it, like she's discussing the weather, hits me harder than any screaming match could have. "Did any of it mean anything?" I ask. "The time we spent together, the things you said?" She considers. You are not bad man, Alistair, just lonely man, easy target." "They don't deny it. What's the point?" Rosemary tries to justify it. Says she needed the money, that I was lonely, and she gave me happiness for a while. "You got something too," she insists. "You felt good, right? You felt loved." Miguel just stands there in his borrowed lab coat, looking embarrassed. I don't call the police. What would I say? That I was stupid enough to believe in love at 55? That I fell for a scam any reasonable man would have seen coming? "I'm sorry it has to end this way," Rosemary says, and for a moment I almost believe her regret is real. "But you understand, yes? I have family. Mother is sick, really sick. Brother needs work. We do what we must do." "By lying?" "By surviving," she corrects. "You have pension, savings, rich country to go back to. We have nothing." She's right, of course. That doesn't make it hurt less, but she's right. I pack my bags and book a flight back to Glasgow. 3 months in paradise, and I'm leaving poorer and more broken than when I arrived. The taxi driver who takes me to the airport is the same one who overcharged me when I first arrived. He recognizes me. "Short trip, sir," he says. "Philippines not for you?" "No," I tell him. "It's not for me." Glasgow airport looks exactly the same. Grey skies, cold rain, familiar misery. I'm back where I started, except now I'm £15,000 poorer and carrying a different kind of emptiness. The phantom pregnancy haunts me more than the money. For 3 months I believed I was going to be a father. I bought baby clothes, planned a nursery, imagined holding my child. That hope was real, even if nothing else was. Margaret was right. To leave me. I'm the kind of man who falls for fairy tales, who mistakes desperation for love. At 55, I should know better. The flat I rented after the divorce looks smaller than I remembered. Colder. The baby clothes I bought online are still in their packages, stacked in the corner like accusations. I should return them, but I can't bring myself to touch them. They represent 3 months when I believed in tomorrow. Sarah calls that first week. "How was your trip, Dad?" she asks. "Did you find what you were looking for?" "No," I tell her, "but I found something else." "What's that?" "I found out I'm still the same idiot I was before I left." She laughs, thinking I'm joking. If only she knew. The investigator's report sits on my kitchen table for weeks. All that evidence, all that proof of my stupidity, and what good does it do? Rosemary was right about one thing. I got something out of it too. For 3 months, I felt like a man again instead of just a failure. 6 months later, I'm still in Glasgow, still alone but somehow different. The scam broke something in me, but it also taught me something about hope and desperation, and the lies we tell ourselves when we're lonely. I don't blame Rosemary entirely anymore. She saw an opportunity and took it. In her position, struggling to survive, maybe I would have done the same. What hurts most isn't the betrayal or the money. It's knowing that for 3 months I felt alive again. I believed in tomorrow. That feeling was real, even if everything else was fake. Sometimes the lie is more comfortable than the truth. Sometimes getting scammed for hope is worse than getting scammed for money, because hope is the one thing you can never get back once it's gone. I've started seeing a therapist. Dr. Morrison, a real doctor with a real clinic and real degrees on the wall. "You're not the first man to fall for this kind of scam," she tells me, "and you won't be the last." That doesn't make me feel better, I admit. "It should," she says. "It means you're human. It means you're capable of love and hope and trust. Those aren't weaknesses, Alistair. They're what make life worth living." Maybe she's right. Maybe being the kind of fool who believes in love at 55 isn't the worst thing I could be. The baby clothes are still in the corner of my flat. I've stopped thinking about returning them. They remind me of who I was for 3 months in Cebu, a man who believed in tomorrow, a man who thought he deserved happiness. That man was a fool, but at least he was brave enough to hope. And maybe someday I'll be brave enough to hope again.